I love that intro.
Hi,
Yes.
everybody. I still get the chills every time I watch it, and I've seen it a
Yes.
gazillion times, but
Yes.
it's like, God, he did such a good job on that. Thank you, Andrew.
Yes.
Um, and if y'all have not been to any of Marina's shows in the past week or so, he did one for her too, and it
Oh,
is awesome. It's so good.
it
I
is.
loved
Thank
it.
you for that, Sherry. Although I have not used it for the last week because there
Oh,
was something with the music that
yeah, same thing.
YouTube didn't
He's
like.
got the license, but we don't
Yeah.
have the license. So I have to do profit sharing every time I play it. And I'm like,
Oh,
okay, well, if they want my 5 cents, they can have it. I mean, like they're getting that much money off of me. Because when I mentioned it to him, and he was like, that's not right. I paid for the license for that. And I'm like, yeah, but you paid for it. I didn't pay for it.
that's true.
So he's like, okay, we're going to fix it when I get back. I said, okay, that's cool. We'll fix it when you get back. So
Yeah. So there.
then
I
I
love
can,
that.
then
I
I can
love
hit
you.
YouTube with, I have the license to play this music. Thank you very kindly.
And
So
then the music's so dramatic but smooth. It's
it
smooth.
is.
Yeah,
It's
I
it.
love it. Yeah.
I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, I thought you'd do more like Cajun type music or something." And I said, "Well, originally that's kind of what I was thinking of
I
doing.
I love this.
But the more I watch this, the more it
Yeah.
just seems to fit
It
the
does.
whole visual, the way he did it,
Yeah.
and
Yes. The
and the
water,
fact
the
that he
trees.
did it
That. Yeah.
with cypress swamps and not other
Yeah.
kind of swamps. A lot
Mhm.
of people don't realize there's differences, and a cypress swamp very specific in how it looks and the feel that you get from it. So
Good to know. It has
yeah,
attention to detail.
uh you would
And
know.
it has attention to detail.
Oh, I'm telling you,
Incredible.
I mean, he
That's
did such a remarkable job. I was so impressed. I'm still impressed every time I see it.
yes.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sisters of the Mystical Tarot. Oh, we're doing a show. Okay. Got a little off course there to get the day started with. Um, y'all hold Allie up. She is not going to be joining us tonight. She's feeling a little under the weather. And so please just lift her up for some healing and to feel better in as soon as possible so that she's not sick because
Yeah.
I spent a whole week being sick. It was not fun.
No.
Um,
No.
and so let's see real quick. Well, we got Heart Center Tarot here. I don't know who let her in. Same with Dragonfly Crystals. Oh my God. Um, we got stop that damn pop-ups. We got Dibs. We've got Voices from the Swamp. Somebody let her in too. Goodness gracious.
Come on,
We
moderators.
got we got Bora Bora is here,
Yes.
and Tapioca Thievery is here. I love that name.
Okay.
What Old Crow is here. Ascending Ascending Universal Butterfly. Oh, I like that. That's a cool name.
Yeah.
Um, and it took me a minute to read because when it's all together in one word, I have to stop and try to figure out where's the break goes.
Yeah.
And let's see, Elaine Tanner and Angie Gutierrez, Lynn, Aline, Innocent Potato, and Edward is here. So, hello, hello, hello. And Edward's one of our strongest supporters on all of our channels. He shows up
Yes. Yes.
like clockwork, and we really appreciate it. So he's always here. Um,
Absolutely. And
so
Cheryl
and Cheryl
Manolo.
and
Every time
Core
I
Smith.
see
Yeah.
Cheryl come in and Cheryl Manolo,
Uh,
right away, I'm thinking of shoes. The Manolos. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
took a minute. And let's see, Core Smith just popped in, and Sharon Gooch. I like that, Sharon Gooch. That's interesting. Um, and oh, he's working and lurking. Edward says, "Okay, we get you. I do that all day long." I pop in and listen, and I'll say, "Hey, working, lurking," and that's everybody's cue that I'm not sitting at the typewriter. I'm not at the keyboard. So sometimes I pop in and I'm able to type a sentence or something in, and then I'm back out the room again. But and Cece and Laura, and wow, this is a pretty good. We already got 56 people in the room. Yay! And so thank y'all for coming and spending your Wednesday evening or afternoon, depending on your time zone, with us. We do appreciate it. Tonight I thought we would talk about clairs and not eclairs, although we probably all want one. But I could use an eclair every now and again, although I'm really not that crazy about them. But every now and again, I'll get the taste I want, like a couple of bites of one, and then that's all I want. It's too rich. I can't eat more than a few bites of it. But I thought we would discuss clairs. Now, clair is a French word that means clear. So you have clairvoyance, which is clear seeing. You have clairaudience, which is clear hearing. You have clairsentience, which is sensing physical or emotional feelings. That's a lot more of the emotional energy that comes through. You have claircognizance, which is just clear knowing. You just know things and you don't know why you know. And then there's a few kind of outliers that they have on the little list that I printed up. There's clairgustance, which is a psychic taste or flavor without putting anything in your mouth. Well, that happens every time I see a good commercial for, ice cream or cake or whatever. It's like, oh, I can taste it. Then there's clairalience, which is clear smell. That's one I definitely have. Somebody can talk about striking a match, or I can see somebody strike a match in a movie, and boom, I smell the sulfur, like somebody just struck it next to me. It's weird. And then there is clairtangency, which is physically touching an object to get information, also known as psychometry. And so, like I said, the term clair comes from the French word for clear and indicates a direct, intuitive way of receiving information. And we all have them. We have all of them from everything I have studied. It's just some are stronger than others depending on the person. You might have a really strong sense of smell, with the clair which one was it? Clairalience. And then maybe you don't get that at all, and that's okay. You have it, and it may pop in every now and again, but it's not real strong. And for those of us who spent most of our lives pretending that we couldn't see, hear, smell, know things, once we decided to open that door and say, okay, come on out, and it's stronger senses are kind of the ones that come out first. At least that's my personal experience. And the weaker ones, maybe every now and again something will happen and you're like, wow, what was that? But you have to kind of work on it. Usually it involves clearing your third eye, clearing your crown chakra to be able to receive more information in a certain area. I would think that if you would really like a particular sense over another, that if you just talk to your guides about it and put it out there and then meditate on it a little bit and kind of work on it, you can go online. There was a gazillion things there that you can look up for how to strengthen it or how to maybe tone one down a little bit if it's too overwhelming, that kind of thing. So there's lots of help out there for everybody. And I thought we could all just talk about what are our clairs, what's strongest for each one of us, what's weakest for each one of us. And, maybe we could share examples, like I did with striking a match. And then boom, it's right there. So Miss Val, I'm going to pick on her and I'm going to let her go first.
Okay. Well,
The floor is yours.
I have to say, my strongest clairs, I wouldn't put one ahead of the other as far as the first four: claircognizance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and clairvoyance. These four are pretty much play into anything I do. Whenever I need something to come through for someone who's sitting in front of me, it automatically comes in the way in which the guides are showing me. It either drops in like a clear knowing, or it comes in and it's a thought voice, or it's a clairsentience. I feel it inside of me, sadness or heart chakra blockage or whatever that may be, throat chakra, or how they feel in a certain situation. That automatically comes, and sometimes it all comes at once. And clairvoyance, I see the movie, I see the screen, it shows me. These are all playing at the same time. Sometimes they just all go, and I have no control. It's comes in the way it needs to for the information to be provided to the person who's the sitter. And clairalience, I do not, I do have clairalience. Once in a while, I smell my grandfather's cigarette or his cigar smoke, once in a while, and I know he's around. Not that often, but definitely there. And I know, Shari, when you mentioned clairtangency, I skipped clairaugustance. That is taste. When you read out what clairaugustance is, and I thought, if I really am thinking about something like the ice cream, I can taste it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I
literally my mouth will water with
and it will water.
Yeah.
And I think we all have this, but we don't really use it like, oh man, I got this gift, but you got it.
I think most people don't consider it a psychic sense.
Yes,
We just
exactly.
think,
And that's a good point. And I'm glad you gave us that description. Now, clairtangency, that psychometry, holding something,
right.
I would say that's my least likely way of getting something.
Yeah.
I have tried it a few times. I haven't practiced.
Yes.
But and maybe if I did seriously do it, I would get things and show up. But I actually can look at something. If you had a picture of a vase, or you had a picture of a necklace, or you had a picture, and I can look at that picture and I can get what one would get by holding something. I get it from looking at that.
It's like the reverse of it.
Yeah. So now what would I tell others and suggest to them? Practice. How? Not with your family and friends. You know them too well. Get into one of those psychic practice groups or mediumship practice groups. It doesn't matter, because what you need to do is sit with someone you don't know and just start riffing. Let what comes through come through. Every single thing that you're picking up. Do you see the color blue? Do you see the color purple? Do you sense something? Say it. You're getting a message and you're not realizing you're getting guides and angels talking through you to tell them. But you're thinking it came to you all by yourself. No, you're getting information. So how do you find that out? By doing it, by sitting down over and over and practicing with people you don't know. And this is really important because you all have the clairs, you were born with them. Just sit down and practice. Get a group. There are tons of groups out there. They're on Facebook. They're on, you can get them
Just talk
on
to the
YouTube.
people in chat. Yeah. I mean, it's like,
Well, you could definitely do it with people in the chat because you actually don't need to know what they look like.
Yeah.
All you need is to feel into that energy. So that's all you need. And so, yeah, that's how you do it. Practice, 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 practice. And all of a sudden you're going to go, oh man, I'm getting stuff. Or the first time you're going to start getting stuff. Maybe some of it will be hits and the person will go, oh my gosh, yes. And generally speaking, you're going to be hit some good things on the first try, and you're going to keep doing it. The only difference between clarity and your ego getting in the way, that's it. That's it. And what does that mean? It means you make it be more about you, and you start taking what you're getting and filtering it through your personality. But just let what come through clearly by saying, I see the color purple. I'm not going to make it mean anything. I see a big eye. I'm not going to filter it through my discernment or any of that or judgment. I'm just saying, and I see a big eye. Whatever you see, don't put it through your filter. Just say what you see. That's my hard and fast kind of play it loose way to get your clairs all functioning together like that. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
How about you, Marina? What you got?
I got what Val said. So thank you for letting me. It's been a slice. Yeah. My earliest memories are of the claircognizance. I know what I know, but I don't know how I know what I know. I just know that I know. Yeah. And without being able to put a name on it, it was, just put it down to, intuition, good guesser, all that kind of stuff. That was the one that I worked with the most. The others came on board the more that I worked, the more that I was able to get out of my own way. Like Val said, do not filter things through the ego. When you get a sense of something and you think, oh, well, I can't say that, doesn't make any sense to me. It's not supposed to, because you're not reading for yourself. You're reading for someone else. They are the ones that it needs to make sense to. So anyway, that the others came along the more that I learned how to trust myself and how to just say what I felt, what I saw. Yes, what I could smell. Sometimes I would. If I'm doing readings for people, I'll say, oh, okay, yeah, so-and-so just came in. Okay, why am I smelling white flowers? Right? That kind of stuff. It's just, just not putting, don't try to define it and kind of like, look for it in let me see, clairaudience, for example. I need to learn clairaudience. Just let it come in. Whatever comes in, they will come in according to how you're feeling, how things are going, according to who you're reading for, who you're talking to. And if there is not a local group in your area that you can join, that you can practice on, start your own. Mm-hmm. Start your own. Go to the local library. Go to a local center, where people gather and so on. The grocery store, wherever you can put up a little sign. Interested in exploring, spiritual gifts, whatever. And don't have it in your home. always make sure that you, if you're going to meet people, you're going to meet them in a very busy place and a very public place, a
Yes.
very visible place. And yeah, you might find that there's more people around you who would say, well, I don't know how I know this.
Mhm.
I just get a feeling. So
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I know
absolutely.
with me, my first memory of an ability is clairaudience, and that was when I was 3, 4 years old, and I would hear God talk to me. It was just this
Mhm.
deep bass voice, and it would talk to me, and I would talk back, and we would have an entire conversation.
Yes.
And I heard him just as clearly as I heard anybody else that walked in the room.
Yes.
And people would walk in the room and be like, "Who are you talking to?" And I would just tell them God, because to me, at that age, that's what I thought it was. Because who else is going to talk to you that's not there, right? I mean, it just made logical sense. It must be
Yes.
God. And then when I was 9, was the first time that I experienced claircognizance, or what I call the deja vu ability. And we had gone several states away from where we had always lived to visit friends at their new house in a different state. First time there, and the minute I walked through the door, I went, "Oh, I've been here before." And everybody's like, "No, you haven't." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yes, I have." And I told them where every room in the house was, whose room it was, what was in each room. And then that's when my mother just looked at me and said, "Oh, you got the gift too." And that was it. She never discussed it after that. Um, and as I got older, I would hear things, hear hence the name for my channel, Voices from the Swamp. And I didn't know what to name my channel. And my guides very clearly were like, "Excuse me, you hear voices and you live in the swamp. Think about it." And I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
okay, I get it." It's like,
obvious.
it's so obvious. What is wrong with you? Um,
Yeah.
and so it's the hearing and the 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 clear cognizance, the clear knowing, the clairvoyance, which is seeing. A lot of times when I'm doing readings for people, I will get movie clips in my head. It's like somebody, boop, a little projector pops up and the film
Mhm.
starts rolling, and it's either a movie clip or a TV clip or a music clip or something. And when it first happened, I would think, "I can't say that. They're going to think I'm nuts." And I would hear, "Just tell them what you see." And so I would tell them, "I'm seeing this. You remember this movie and this scene?" And it was like, "Oh my God, how did you know?" That was their favorite movie, or that was my favorite scene in that movie. Or it started making, other people were like, "No, I get it." And exactly,
Yes.
and so once I realized that people weren't going to think I was crazy because I saw movies in my head, it was like, okay, I can handle this. Um, in the past year, I've started getting visions, which are still really weird. And I still have a hard time kind of dealing with them, because it's like a 3D Technicolor movie playing out right in front of me when I get them. It's just boom. And I do believe that my mother gifted me her ability, because that was her gift. Was she would see people's deaths. If someone was going to die in a tragic way, she would see it a day or two before it happened. And it really bothered her, and it really upset her, and she hated it. And that's why she never talked about abilities, because, in a lot of sense, I think it probably scared her, because we're talking, back in the 60s and 70s, and people didn't talk about stuff like that. Or if you did, they thought you were taking drugs or something. Um, and so I've started getting visions, not a whole lot, it's just a handful of them, but it's weird. I mean, one of them sort of kind of already came true, which really threw me. Um, and then the others, we'll have to wait and see if what I saw comes to pass. Um, and if it happens in my interpretation of what I saw, because that's what I realized with the vision that kind of already came true. I saw it and thought it meant something totally different. And then when it happened, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not what I thought that meant, but all right, I'm gonna go with that, and
Mhm.
the person it was for, it made a lot of sense to them, and so um that was just it just kind of clarified, because it was right about that time that my when I would try to do a mediumship reading, my mother would be there. And I'd be like, why are you here? Oh, hang on. So and so, here, my daughter's waiting on you. Come on. And I would hear her telling them, come on, come talk to my daughter. She's waiting to tell them to whoever. It was like she was ushering in whoever I was supposed to talk to let them know, no, you're going to come talk to my daughter and she's going to hear you and she'll tell them what you want them to know. That was really weird the first time that happened. And it was with an old family friend who had reached out and asked me to do a reading. And then she had asked me if I could reach her mother to see if her mother would come forward and talk to me. And the next thing I know, my mother's there. Of course, they were good friends, so they and my mother was there, and I'm like, why are you here? She's like, because we're friends. And then so and so, yeah, come on, my daughter's waiting on you, and come talk to your daughter through my daughter. And it's like, oh, okay, I get it. Mama's like helping me from the other side. So it's like, that's kind of cool. I don't know how many people that happens with, but it's kind of cool when you think about it. Um, and there's a lot of other the claircognizance. There have been times when I've just known things. I don't know how I know them. I don't know why I know them. I just know them. And it's getting over that fear of being laughed at. I think has been one of the strongest barriers for me, from ignoring it for so long that I still hesitate before I say it for fear that people are gonna think I'm weird. And so not my kind.
Embrace your weirdness. The
It's,
world needs more.
Embrace it. Love it.
like I'm not sitting in a room full of a bunch of other weird people, and we all do weird things, So, but it's that, it's kind of like that. It's like you're kind of scared to take that step out, and then once you do, you're like, oh, okay, that was nothing, because everybody else gets it. So,
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting. I thought maybe the chat might want to kind of pop in and just maybe share if they get particular types, because we all have them. Everything I've read, we all have these sixth senses.
Mhm.
It just depends on if you work on them to make them stronger. Some things, because of events that happen, will bring some gifts out, like out of the blue. Suddenly you're talking to dead people and you're like, well, what the hell when did this happen? And or you might see things or hear things. But everybody has it. I think that's what's so interesting to me. When I started learning that, was I really wasn't as weird as I thought I was, because everybody has it. They just don't talk about it. And I'm like, okay, well, that kind of makes me feel better.
Or they, not that they don't talk about it, they don't know to frame it that way. Like,
Yes.
Right.
they have the
They don't know how.
Yeah, they know. It's not even knowing how. They see a person at a store and they have these particular feelings about them. Oh, they look like they're really, lonely and blah, blah, blah. These are all they're really reading the records. They're getting information. they don't go, oh man, I'm psychic. No, they don't label themselves as having a gift when that happens. It's a natural thing. They've done it all their lives. There isn't anyone who doesn't get insights into people, situations. Oh, I don't think I'm safe here. I can feel that hair on the back of my neck.
Yes.
Everyone I know has moments like that from the time they were little all the way to now. Those are all those sensations, clairsentience, telling them, informing them. So you have all these gifts always working. They've been working from the day you were born. You just didn't go, oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that skill I have. No, when I say you didn't frame it, it means you didn't stop and go, oh yeah, that was my clairsentience. And, that was my claircognizance at the start. You have these things drop in and you just know, oh, that situation wouldn't work out good. I'm not going to take that job. You just have it drop in. You don't know how you know. You just get that knowing.
And a lot of people don't know that there's a name to go with it to tell them what it is.
Exactly. Like a little kid's going to know there's all those names. No, we're just people going about our business and all these senses are working. We didn't give them names. We're just going about our business. But then you sit down and say, and somebody tells you you're a psychic medium, you're this, you're that, you have all the clairs, and they go, oh no, I don't. I can't. But then they sit down and they do. They can. It's all there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I like what JWB put. I don't know if this has a name, but for my entire life, whenever I'm around strangers very long, they just start telling me things I never ask or even really want to know.
Yeah, that's when you're really
maybe clairempathy.
Yes, you're clairsentient, and that empathy that you have, that is an open heart. And what attracts people to you is you have this open heart. And they can sit in front of you and pour their life out to you. This is holding that space for them. And that's what clairsentience does. So, that's a beautiful thing to have that. But you also have to learn your boundaries, because there isn't an empath alive who has that clairsentience that doesn't have to learn how to create safe space for themselves.
Yes.
Because everybody would come in, dump.
I like what Cece says. I can sense my mother. I can hear her laugh sometimes when one grandson would do something.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's just because you're open to it. You may not even realize you're open to it. You've probably heard things all your life and just reacted and went about your day and
didn't label it, didn't
register.
Yes. Yeah. Or think of it as something that that is unusual. You don't see it as a negative thing. You just kind of, it's like, wow, that was weird. But then you don't go any further. You just let it go.
Exactly.
I used to, and I called it déjà vu, which but I would have dreams about conversations in certain situations, and a day or two later they would start
happen.
And I'd sit back like, oh, I've already done this.
Yeah,
and after you say this, I'm supposed to say blah blah blah. And just thought, oh my
because
God.
you knew if you didn't, you knew from knowing it before that it wouldn't be a good outcome. So you knew you had to skirt this and do it a certain way. That's really a precognitive dream telling you in advance how to handle a situation. But I'm thinking it's almost like going into a future timeline and you're reading what is before. And that happens a lot to people.
Yeah, it does. It does. And when it happens,
Thievery says she has a coworker who can see auras and is open with it. That's, I mean, that is such a great gift, because you can look at somebody and you can kind of see what their life force is, and it can kind of give you that inclination of I don't want to get too close to this person, or oh
If you see
wow,
a lot of
I want to
fury
go
and
running up.
red,
Yeah, I mean,
muddy
uh,
brown, or any of that, and you can also
I
see illness in that in the
Yes.
aura.
exactly,
Cloudiness, cloudy colors, and
exactly. I know I read a thing once on Edgar Casey that said that he was somewhere like downtown in an official building, and he finished his business and he went to leave and head for the elevator to go down. And there were like a group of people when the doors opened, a couple of people walked in, but there was like a group of people in this elevator and no one had an aura, none of them.
Huh.
And he said he just backed off and didn't go in. And on the way down, the elevator cable snapped and the cage dropped,
oh,
and it killed them. And so
Yeah.
the people that were in there died. So
probably
and
were already half out of their body,
Yes.
going to the big
exactly,
transition
because
in the
it had
sky.
no auras left. It was, and I just remember reading it or watching it on one of the things about him, and I just remember thinking that would be trippy if you always see auras around people,
Yeah.
and then one day you look into an elevator and nobody has one. I wouldn't get in the elevator either.
I
I'd
would
be like,
Yeah.
not be in the elevator.
Yeah.
That does
Absolutely.
not
I'm taking the stairs today.
that does not sound good.
Innocent Potato talks about she dreamed two planes crashed in California. Yeah. And it is, I think that's what was so hard for my mom, was because she would see these things and there wasn't anything she could do about it. And the one time it happened where she thought she could have made a difference if she had told them. I don't know if it was a guide, an angel, or what, but suddenly this man was there telling her, don't tell them. And she's like, don't tell them what? And he was, what you saw, don't tell them. And it kind of, that's how I found out that everybody in my family was gifted, especially on the female side, because she freaked out about it big time, because the next day the vision she saw happened. And it really, really freaked her out. And I remember her and my aunt, her sister, talking about it, and that's how I found out. I was eavesdropping like most 12-year-olds will. Um, and she was just losing it over it because, and I can remember my aunt telling her,
Mhm.
we all have something different. It just, that's yours. Just deal with it,
Yeah.
and so I, it's just, again, it's kind of weird. You feel weird when it happens. I like all the elements says weird doesn't exist. I
Yes.
like that.
No.
Whoever tells you you're weird, it's because they have no understanding or belief in what it is you tell them. You are different and bring a different gift. Exactly. Um,
Yep.
that's basically what my aunt was saying to my mom. Um, we all have something. Yours is this, and that's what it is. And so I don't know how many times it happened to my mother after that one incident, but um, every now and again I would just get that weird feeling that she had seen something because of the way she would act afterwards. So, and I'm just kind of skimming. If y'all got anything, throw it in there.
Well,
I'm just
I was just
skimming the
trying to
chat.
yeah, Sherry, I was trying to think of what the reasoning would be behind the clairvoyant dreams. Not dreams, but visions, dreams, whatever you want to call them. You can have the waking ones too to see disasters
Yes.
that might be coming. But actually, considering that everything is on somebody's life plan path, even JFK hearing from Gene Dixon, hey, you go
Yes.
here and it's assassination time. He still went. So
Yeah.
things are going to unfold how they unfold. So the idea that one should feel guilty over hearing it and not being able to stop it, I don't think that's why you hear or see the vision or get that. I think it happens because you are just tuning into that gateway of what is coming. And you just seem to be able to feel the biggest feeling of, we'll say, shock that goes through the mass consciousness when those events happen. That's why it comes to you and you can tap into that easier, because it's a big shock. The Twin Towers, the plane crash.
Right.
So I think that's just that's why people are geared to those big disaster things and they tune in so easy, because people are feeling a certain way about it and it's big.
And don't forget too, that when it comes to death, we have spent so many years and we have been so conditioned to think that death is final. Death is something to be feared.
Right.
And so on. So that, when you see a lot of people transition at the same time, oh my gosh, what a tragedy. It is a tragedy, and yet at the same time, they didn't go alone.
Well, they had a big purpose. If they were all together on that
Yes.
plane, there had to be some big reason why they volunteered to come in, have a lifetime, and then that was their out. So, Marina, you're absolutely right. There was a definite, beyond the human loss tragedy side of it, it is really a bigger reason, a bigger gathering of that. So, we don't know what that is. And when you transition, you're not dead. You're going into your energy form. This is like, we're like projecting down into our dream now. And then suddenly you wake up in the dream. That's about the reality of it, folks. Yeah. So I like the Marina. I like you mentioned that. That's a really good thing to remember.
Yeah.
So what we think is a tragedy isn't always on the other side. It's not.
Yes.
I mean, we see, hear, or know something, and to us it may be traumatic.
Yeah.
But whoever it is that's supposed to get that message, it may be exactly what they've been waiting to hear to confirm something or finalize something, or know, okay, now I know that's how this person passed, or now I have questions answered that I had no way of getting them answered before. And so that's, I mean, when I first really stepped into this life path and said, okay, I'm hearing you, I'm doing this. All right, I'm doing this. And it was really difficult in the beginning because, again, you're afraid that people are going to think you're weird, or worse, they're going to think you're a fraud. I was so fearful about being wrong about something that it took me a little while to realize it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. It's the message that you're putting across. And maybe it's just a generalized message that's going to morph into something a little different. But it's something that person needs to know. So
I love Innocent Potato says Lincoln had a dream about his deathbed. He still went to Ford's Theater. Yeah, he did, as a matter of fact. So when it's your destiny, you're going to go where you need to be for your exit. That's just the way it's meant to play out, for sure. Pretty interesting.
I mean, and how many people came forward, after 9/11 who saw it, or who knew something was going to be wrong that day and tried to keep family members from getting on a plane or going to work or whatever, because they knew something was going to happen. But how do you convey that without somebody thinking that you're like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And and then something happens, and of course people start looking at you like you're weird,
I don't
because
think so. I think at that time when the trade towers went down, it was, if you told enough people, hey, I had this terrible, terrible premonition that blah, 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 they wouldn't go to work. I wouldn't.
yeah,
I think a lot of
exactly.
people, in fact, a lot of people had just something came up and they couldn't go to work because they weren't
Yeah,
meant to be there.
Exactly.
exactly.
There was an incredible number of people who should have been there who
Thank
were
you.
not there.
Thank you.
Because
Yeah,
it was an
whatever
election day.
yes.
It was an election day, and so a lot of people went to go vote before they went into work, and so there was a whole lot of people that weren't up in their
There
offices.
were a whole bunch of reasons why. Oh,
Yes.
for some
Right.
reason, something happened. I couldn't go to work that day.
Yes.
Car broke down, kid got
Car
sick.
broke down. It was sick, and I had to stay home with him. Whatever that is.
Yeah, I mean, and how many times when you stop and think about it have things like that kind of happened in your life?
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't as big and traumatic as the towers coming down, but
Yeah.
something happened on that day, and you're like, wow, if I had gone to work, I would have been on the road on that path. And where you get stuck behind somebody going slow, or you keep catching red lights trying to get on the way home, and you're like, doggone it, what, just let me get
But it's
there where
probably
I'm
saving
going.
you from running into a tractor trailer who's going to go
Exactly.
across the road and hit you.
At that time. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
And most of you have heard me tell the story of my father asked me if I wanted to go fishing with him one day. And I jumped at the opportunity. Yes, of course, it'll be fabulous. We went to bed early and blah, blah, blah. And he woke me up before we were supposed to leave, which was, I don't know, 4:30 in the morning. Him and his buddy and me were going to go fishing. And I woke up and I just had the strangest feeling. And I said, Dad, would you mind if I didn't go? I just changed my mind. And he said, oh, okay, if you're sure. They had to stop and pick up their licenses at a gas station before they carried on. And rather than pull into the gas station, because it was just a two-way road, they pulled off to the side and they left the car and walked across the street. In the meantime, if I had been with them, I would have been in the back
Sitting
seat,
in the
more
car.
than likely. Yeah, more than likely laying down.
Laying down,
Laying down, probably sleeping.
probably.
Two cars were coming down the road and they were racing. And one of them hit the car and pushed it forward, and the back was squished.
Yeah.
The back was squished.
You,
yeah,
you
yes,
got some message not to get.
yes, not to go. And look,
Ooh,
every
I
time I
got the
think about it,
chills.
I'm getting chills and
Full
shivers
body chills
because
on that. Yeah.
that was listening. That was not trying to talk myself
Ignore.
into knowing that it was important that I not go, and just no,
When
Another
spirit talks, everyone,
yes,
just do it the first time and listen.
yes,
Because when you don't, it doesn't turn out the way you
Isn't
want.
that the truth? Yeah.
Now, your guardian angels probably would have come in somehow and saved you, but
Yeah.
you still would have gone through some damage, I'm sure, physically. So
Yeah,
you got to live through that easily by listening.
yeah.
And
And I do want to say thank you to Tapioca Thievery, because she said quite a while ago that she didn't realize how much her spirits were talking to her until she took my Achieving Union course.
yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a great class, y'all. If you ever take it, that's all I can say is take it.
It's really
really
foundational for
Yeah.
going forward with everything you want to bring forward, to open up to everything and let things go that are not needed in your life any longer, for sure. The things that you're dragging along with you. Yeah,
So thank you.
absolutely.
And thank you, Don Turner, who also said great things about that. So yes, thank you guys. It's always a pleasure for me to talk about that because it is life-changing. And nothing brings me more pleasure than when I see people get it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, yes.
Laura Kraft says,
Yeah.
this is weird. I was talking about 9/11 today with my niece.
Ha.
It wasn't weird. It was Bree. The spirit knew you were going to be hearing it. That topic was going to come up. So they prepared you for it. Dawn says, what did we three see, if anything, before 9/11 happened? You know, it's weird. I flew the weekend before 9/11.
Mhm.
And I was shocked at the lack of having everything checked before I got on the plane. I just walked in the airport because I bought my ticket online. This is 2001. A lot of people still didn't do that yet. And I just walked in and said, hey, I'm Shari Hinkle, and I've taken a flight to such and such a place. And they pulled it up. Oh, okay, here's your ticket. Bye, thank you. And and it was all the way there and then all the way back. I was never once asked for my ID or asked to prove that it was my ticket. And when I got home, I remember telling a couple of friends, that made me kind of nervous because anybody could have walked up and walked away with my ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And how would I prove that I didn't have the ticket? Because nobody asked me for my ID. And then the next weekend, 9/11 happened. I was like, oh, holy crap. I mean, it really kind of struck me of how lax the rules were.
Maybe in
before.
Maybe in the airports that you went through, but I have to say, I do recall a time where there were certain pilots that were supposed to be flying to different locations on that day, and they were caught having some discrepancies with their passports and all of that kind of thing to get on a flight. So it apparently certain airports still had a little bit more stringent. And I agree with you, Shari. There were many lax.
I mean, and it was, probably because it was a shorter flight from Louisiana to Nashville.
Yeah.
So from here to Tennessee was a couple of states up. It wasn't that far.
Yeah, I think this was from one major part of the country to another.
These planes were like cross country planes.
Oh, yeah.
They're the big ones. And
so they didn't let them get on the plane, or we would have had more targets.
Yes.
Possibly hit. So,
yeah, exactly. And a lot of that has come out especially in the last probably 10 years of how many other terrorists there were that had plans to get on other planes going international and whatnot. That, like you said, got held up, got stopped because of some fluke, some little something somewhere.
And here's the funny thing. I mean, they were trained by us.
Yeah.
In Florida or wherever
most of them went to flight schools here in the U.S.
Yeah, in the U.S. They learned, and we so
one of the men that took a class down in Florida. I saw an interview with the flight instructor, and he was like, the first couple of classes was fine, but then they started asking me questions about, I was trying to teach them something about landing and getting everything prepared to land and all this stuff.
Landing.
And they didn't care. They weren't worried about landing. They were like, yeah, well, that's not important. And it just struck the guy as not important. What is the most important thing you're going to do up there? Is land.
Right.
And there were a few flight instructors that actually called in and
I remember
made complaints about it,
Right.
But I mean, up until that happened, most people would show up minutes before their flights took off. And would
Exactly.
just, things thrown at them as they're running through. And I mean,
Exactly.
when I was a kid, I can remember we would go to the airport sometimes on the weekends and hang out and just watch the planes come and go.
Yes.
Watch the people come and go. George Carlin had this set in his comedy routine about going to the airport and just hanging out and looking for spies, because there is a spy somewhere in that airport, because he was talking about big New York airports. And it's funny the way he put it, but years later when that happened, I remember thinking, where are all those kids that hung out in the airports when they were young looking for the spies? I mean, would they have spotted them had they continued their love for avionics?
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, there were people who went into that field of work to try to be that stopgate. And there were people who walked away and said, I'm not ever again.
Yeah.
And again, it just depended on the person and where they were, what their life path meant for them to be. And I mean, it was amazing how many people, and it took a few years before started hearing people talk about what they were picking up and what they were feeling before. And it's amazing how many people across the country knew something was going to happen and they just didn't know what or how to deal with it. And I think in a lot of ways that kind of helped wake up those of us light workers. It kind of woke us all up, kind of like, all right, y'all are on duty now. So because you started seeing more and more and more things coming out where it was more commonplace. Psychic shows on TV, ghost hunter shows on TV. It became more and more okay to be different. And I think a lot of that kind of helped prepare us for what we were meant to do going down the road. So I didn't exactly think we were going to close out on 9/11, but there are, like I said, I mean, I went on Chat GPT and just printed out, I just said, what are the clairs, and some explanations. And there was tons of information that I just didn't have time to go through. But somebody had asked me about it over the weekend. And that's what gave me the idea. Oh, well, let's talk about that. Since for once I'm hosting a show and I actually have a topic on my own. And I'm not trying to think of something, it just came, it's like, oh, yeah, that's a good one. So thank y'all for sharing your clairs. And thank you to everybody in the chat for sharing your clairs and realizing we all have them. It's okay. You can share, you can, and if you want to do a practice group, you could probably pop into any one of our chats on a stream and say, hey, I'm looking to get 4 or 5 people, come meet me in a Discord room or something, and let's practice. Boom.
And just remember, it's not a special person that has all the gifts. You're all special and you all have the gifts.
That's right.
Everyone.
That is absolutely correct.
Yeah, you can't be born without them. So congratulations, all of you.
Absolutely.
That's it. I mean, and there's probably gifts out there that we don't even know about yet because we haven't developed to that level.
Telepathy, for one.
Exactly.
I mean, Yeah, you've got people who can astral travel, leave their
Oh, the
body and
astral
go
travel,
just about anywhere, and there's
remote
just so
viewing,
many different things. Yeah.
so many things.
Um,
Exactly.
so
So yeah, thank you guys for being here with us. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to all our channels.
the
It helps us get the
links
message
are
out to people who want to hear what we have to say. They just don't know where we are.
exactly. And the links to all of our channels are in the description box below. So all you have to do is click on it and it'll bring you straight to Marina's page or Val's page or Allie's page. And that way you can go in and you can make sure you click the little notification bell,
Yes.
because then you get notified every time we go live or drop a video. And after the show, any of our shows, when you see any of us on live, if you go in after the show is over and you leave a comment with at least 7 characters, why 7? I don't know. That's
Yeah.
what we've been told. Whether if it's 7 emojis or a sentence that's got 7 characters in it,
7 words, whatever.
7,
Yes,
yeah,
7 is the magic number.
7's a magic number, and leave a comment. And that also helps push us out. They've got a new thing now called Boost, where you can gain points as you sit in chat and whatnot, and then you can go on with the show and you can opt in to boost that particular show by so many points, and that helps push it out even more. So when you see a show you really like, go in and boost it if it's available for that show to be boosted. I don't know what the parameters are for that. Sometimes I see it and sometimes I don't. So I haven't
Yeah.
figured it out yet. But if it's there and you liked it, boost it. Let other people find it and like it too. So,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
thank you, my lovely sisters, for being here tonight. And y'all don't forget to give Allie a big uh, hug, virtual hug, and prayers to feel better.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
will see y'all soon.
Yes.
Okay.
Next week on
Bye.
Val's channel.
That's
Yay.
right.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.